I can tell you this, there are graves that have been dug up at the cemetery.
Ritual abuse, the repeated physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual assaults, combined with the systematized use of symbols through ceremonies designed and orchestrated to attain harmful effects.
The trial of Frances and Daniel Keller for the sexual abuse of a 3-year-old girl began at the Travis County Courthouse in Austin, Texas on November 16, 1992. 3 children had accused the couple not only of sexual abuse, but of bizarre ritualistic cruelty, often performed, they said, in the name of Satan.
Tell him it didn't happen. On my life, my children's life, it did not happen.
I'm Julia Dietz, and I owned the property that the Kellers were renting. They were very, very pleasant, very nice people, very loving people. They loved the children and treated them as though they were their own. I'd walk back in through there and back up to the house and stop by at odd times. I never saw anything that would suggest that there was any wrongdoing going on up there.
I don't know. I don't know what started. I really don't know what started it.
My name is Dr. James Wood. I'm a professor of psychology in the University of Texas at El Paso. I study child suggestibility, child interviewing in legal settings, and I've studied a lot on what are called satanic ritual abuse cases, bizarre cases from the 80s and 90s, where bunches of children made very strange and weird allegations against their teachers or their caretakers. There was it's usually called a hysteria, a mass panic that was set off. It was greatest from the mid-80s to about the mid-90s. At its heyday, you had places in New Jersey, Florida, Los Angeles, where groups of preschool children would suddenly make these bizarre allegations that their teachers had sexually abused them and made them participate in these bizarre ceremonies that involved killing of animals, sacrifices of babies, things like that. There was a belief that there were these satanic cults all around the United States that had these designs against our children, and that they were trying to take over the country, and that they were trying to take over our daycare centers. And kind of under the influence of these people that believed in this, you had certain people in law enforcement, certain therapists that would question children suggestively about this, and they would extract these statements from children that these children had been forced to participate in these bizarre ceremonies. And looking back, we see that it was due to primarily to suggestive questioning and to this kind of urban legend that was going around. It was adults pressuring children, is what it was.
Okay, today is Friday. It is August 16th, 1991, and my name is Karen Knox. I'm with the Travis County Sheriff's Department. I'm here today with, what's your name?
Christy.
Christy. How old are you? You're that many?
You can see it very clearly in the Keller case when you read about the testimony of the therapist that worked with Christy, the little girl. And that therapist was clearly a true believer in the satanic ritual abuse stuff. She went out and consulted on it, and then she came and in her questioning of the child starts making these bizarre allegations about the babies being fed to the sharks, about bodies coming out of graves, and that was classic ritual abuse stuff. And we know historically that when these sorts of allegations start to abuse, you have an adult who knows about this questioning a kid, and the kid starts saying it. You almost always find out what's going on is that the adult is probably inadvertently planting those ideas in the child's head.
Sit down here, okay? Sit down.
Now, the other place that you see it, though, besides the therapist, the adults doing it, is in the questioning of the children in the case. In particular, Christy is interviewed. That in that question, you can see a lot of suggestive influences coming to bear on that little girl.
Do you have a word for this right here? What is that?
A nose.
Okay, is that a nose?
Eye.
It's an eye?
No, that's a nose.
Okay. And what is this right here?
A leg.
The child, when asked the names of certain body parts, misidentifies them. And you could say, well, she doesn't know the names of those, but if you see the earlier part of the interview, you see this is a pretty smart little girl. She knows the correct names for those. So that indicates that at that stage in the interview, the child is already being what they call oppositional. She is resisting going along. She's not going to tell the truth. She's going to give the interviewer a little bit of a hard time. She doesn't want to be there.
Okay. Have you ever seen one of these before, Christy?
So who's calling special attention to the penis? It's not Christy that's calling attention to it. It's the interviewer is making very clear that we're here to talk about wee-wees.
Now, can you show me what happened at the daycare? And let's
Okay, now notice there's a presupposition there. She says, can you show me what happened at the daycare? She called attention to the penis and says, now show me what happened at the daycare. That's clearly signaling to the kid that something with the penis happened at the daycare.
Is there a boy or a man at the daycare?
Okay, now you notice the interviewer saying who did it. Do you know a man there who did it?
There's Danny.
Danny? Is he a man?
Danny. Okay, so it's all coming from the interviewer. We're here to talk about penises. We're here to talk about daycare. We're here to talk about Danny.
Show me what Danny does at the daycare to Christy. Can you show me?
What you tell me?
You show me.
Tell me.
You tell me, she says.
Show me. I don't know. You told Donna.
Okay, so what she's saying is, what I want you to do is repeat what you said to Donna before. So we've been going for about 2 minutes. The child doesn't even want to talk about this, doesn't seem interested in it. And it's clear the interviewer is insisting she talk about it. And she's already signaled to her what she wants. She wants what Donna said. She wants something about the penis. She wants something about Danny. All this has been signaled before the child has said a single thing.
Did Danny's...
Look at what her hand is doing.
Christy.
What?
Did Danny ever touch Christy with this?
Okay. Did Danny ever touch? Before, Christy wasn't able to put together penis, Danny, and touching Christy. So now the interviewer's done it for her.
Danny ever touch Christy with this? He did? Can you point to the girl doll and show me where he touched you with this? Right there? Do you have a word for that?
Now this looks very damning unless you've seen what happened before. That interviewer has again and again said, Danny, penis, wiggle. When the little girl didn't do it, she comes and wiggles the penis. So we've got the child clearly understanding it has to do with crotches, it has to do with penises. So now when the answers come, anything the child says, you'd have to say, was that coming from the child? Doesn't look like it. It looks like the child is somehow trying to play along with the interviewer. This interview is very seriously flawed. It's highly suggestive. I don't think you can place reliance on what the child says here. It's so much a product of what the adults are pressuring the child into saying. It's so much a mirror of what the adults are saying to the child, and at most she reflects back some of what they've said. Compared to other cases I've seen, the child's statement in this is very unconvincing. And it's largely because of the way the interview is conducted. This is pretty shocking to see, to know that there are still people in jail based on a case like this, that there was highly suggestive interviewing in the case. There was a therapist who was apparently believing in cults, satanic cult abuse, and was apparently questioning the child about that. And we have that the child was making these very bizarre allegations that are typical of these satanic ritual abuse cases about the sharks, right, and the bodies and so on. This is stuff that historically we know is just like a witch hunt. And it's shocking to find out that it was. It's shocking to find out that someone in Austin, Texas, was put into jail and remains in jail based on this sort of case. I'm very disturbed by this case. I feel it was a miscarriage of justice.
I've been locked up in prison 18 years for a crime I didn't commit. Get out? I hope and pray. I just want the truth to come out. I want to go home.